for some Miami Heat basketball with Deron Butler on Kendall Sports Network.
And a good Monday evening, or a late good Monday evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Deron Butler, welcoming you to another edition of the Heat Zone Live, courtesy of Kendall Sports Network. It's another late night game in the City of Angels for the Miami Heat as they head to Inglewood in the Intuit Dome against the Los Angeles Clippers. Last night's game against the Lakers was a heartbreaker, very tough one, despite the fact that the Heat had their moments of getting into the game and taking the lead. But the Lakers went from pillar to post in that whole quarter, led by Luka Doncic, Rui Hachimura, and Austin Reeves and Jackson Hayes. This time around, the Heat look to bounce back and get back to the winning ways after the 3-game winning streak came to an end. So my keys for the game are to utilize the bench production, get more aggressive on offense especially, and get more production from Nikola Jovic and Kel'el Ware. Because I know last night's game, it was very sloppy for both Kel'el Ware and Nikola Jovic. Especially Kel'el Ware, he didn't see much of the floor, which was kind of a negative for him. And Nikola Jovic made some errant passes, some very questionable plays. So hopefully both Jovic and Ware can rebound from this one and put up some big numbers for this game. As for the Clippers, they definitely have some players that we should be familiar with. Kawhi Leonard, James Harden. Both guys very defensive minded. Well, one of them is defensive minded, which is Kawhi Leonard, and the other, James Harden, he loves to score. And speaking of scoring, Norman Powell is back in the starting lineup for the Heat. He joins Davion Mitchell, Andrew Wiggins, Pele Larson, and Bam Adebayo. And for the Clippers, as I mentioned, Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. They're joined by Bradley Beal, Ivica Zubac, and former Heat player and high flyer Derrick Jones Jr. So this one should be another fun, high-scoring game. Pele Larson so far with his 3 starts of the season, putting up 13 points per game. We got the tip-off, and the Heat win the tip. Davion Mitchell now has it. Gives it to Andrew Wiggins. To Norman Powell. Bam. And Bam gets to the basket to put the Heat on the board. Bradley Beal now being guarded by Pele Larson. Gives it to Harden. Harden being guarded by Davion Mitchell. There's Kawhi. Kawhi with the basket. He knocks it down, and the Clippers are on the board. Alright, here comes Norman Powell. And he knocks it down. Great to see Norman Powell back on the floor again for the Miami Heat. Missed his production. Alright, the Clippers have it. Zubac being guarded by Bam. Bradley Beal. It's stolen away, and here come the Heat. Bam now gives it to Pele Larson. Pele Larson kicks it out to Davion Mitchell. He misses that one, and Davion Mitchell recovers the ball. Here's it to Wiggins. Norman Powell, that's a 3. Go Norman Powell Ranger. That is a 3 from Miami. Norman Powell this season putting up 24 points with 7 rebounds and 48% shooting from the field. Zubac now being guarded by Bam. Gives it to Kawhi Leonard. That's a 3. He misses it. Rebound by Bam. And here come the Heat. They give it to Norman Powell again. Swings it out to Bam. Bam, that's a 3. And Bam Adebayo knocks down the 3. The Heat are up by 8. And here comes Harden. Harden being guarded by Powell. Zubac sets a screen. He give it to Zubac. Zubac with the hook. He misses. Rebound by Bam. Here comes Davion Mitchell. Gives it to Larson. Back to Mitchell. Here comes Bam. Bam with the basket. Bam knocks it down, and the Heat go up by 10. And the Clippers call timeout. Score is 12-2, Miami. And we are back. The Heat lead 12-2 in this one. And the Clippers organization showing a video package tribute to Norman Powell for his time with the Clippers. Very, very nice of them to do that. Right now, Powell's with the Heat. They're leading by 10. The Clippers will have possession of the ball. Bradley Beal now has it, being guarded by Davion Mitchell. Kicks it out to Kawhi. Kawhi being guarded by Pelle Larsson. Here comes Kawhi, and he knocks it down. Kawhi will go to the line for the and-one. All right, Kawhi makes the and-one, and that brings the Clippers within 7. Here comes the Heat. Bam with a fadeaway, and he knocks it down. The Heat go up by 9. This is the kind of production and aggression they needed for the last 2 games. Loving what I'm seeing so far with Miami, as Harden goes and makes that 3. The Clippers are within 6. Bam Adebayo now has the ball. He has 9 points for 4 for 4 shooting from the field. Bam with the fake, and he misses. Here comes Zubac. Gives it to Kawhi. Rebound by Zubac. And Zubac is able to put the tip in. Clippers trail by 4. Here comes Wiggins. Out to Bam. To Davion Mitchell. That's a 3. He misses. And here come the Clippers now. Harden brings it up to the floor. That's a 3. And the Clippers are within 1 right now. Here comes Davion Mitchell. Gives it to Larson. Larson right to the lane. Larson misses the layup. And that's going to be a foul on the Clippers. Larson goes to the line for the Heat. He makes the first. Alright, and Pelle Larsson goes 1 of 2 from the line. And here comes Bradley Beal bringing it up for the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard now has it. Kawhi at the 3. And he gives the Clippers a lead. Here comes Norman Powell. Gives it to Bam. To Wiggins. Wiggins loses the ball, and here comes the Clippers. They got numbers. Derrick Jones Jr. puts it up. And that will be an and 1 opportunity for the former Heat player. Nice heads-up play from Kawhi Leonard to push it up to the floor for Derrick Jones Jr. The Clippers are now on a 16-3 run so far. Let's see if they can extend that lead. Derrick Jones Jr. misses the and 1. Here comes Wiggins. Gives it to Bam. That's a corner 3. Bam misses it. Here come the Clippers now. Harden brings it up to the floor, being guarded by Davion Mitchell. James Harden now. Misses the layup. But that's going to be a foul on the Heat. Alright, Clippers will have it side out. Harden now has it, being guarded by Davion Mitchell. Here comes Bradley Beal. And Bradley Beal knocks it down to give the Clippers a 5-point lead. Norman Powell bringing it up to the floor for Miami. Norman Powell streaks in and gets the layup. And it looks like a Clipper is down. That's Derrick Jones Jr. Derrick Jones Jr. looks a little banged up for a bit, but he's okay. James Harden now bringing it up for the Clippers. Zubac now have it. He misses the layup. Rebound by Bam, and here comes the Heat. Norman Powell flies in for the layup, gets his shot blocked. Here comes Harden. Harden gives it to Beal, corner 3. The Clippers miss it. Here come the Heat now. Andrew Wiggins flies in for the layup, and he gets it. The Heat are trailing by 1. Derrick Jones Jr. bringing up the floor for the Clippers. Kawhi now has it, being guarded by Wiggins. Cool. Kawhi misses the basket, rebound by Bam. Bam knocks it. Bam misses the basket. Here comes Harden now. Gives it to Kawhi. Kawhi misses the basket, and that's going to be a foul on the Heat. Norman Powell picking up that foul. Norman Powell already with 7 points and 2 fouls. Kawhi Leonard going to the line. He makes the first, and that puts the Clippers up by 2. Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Kel'el Ware coming into the game for Miami. Norman Powell will take a seat with 2 fouls. Kawhi Leonard knocks down both free throws. The Clippers lead by 3. Hawkins pushes it up the floor. Hawkins loses the ball, but it's recovered by Kel'el Ware. Gives it to Pele Larson. Larson now with the fadeaway. He misses. Rebound by Zubac. Zubac gives it to Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi being guarded by Larson. Kawhi again for the Clippers. And the Clippers go up by 5. And that's going to lead to a timeout for Miami. Score is 24-19 Clippers. Hello, Alex.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good, man.
Hey, Kawhi is off to a hot start, man.
Yes, he is.
Kawhi is looking good. Norm's looking good. I'm surprised that Jaquez didn't get to start. I'm guessing because it was the back-to-back, but Jaquez is in now. Should add some offense because the Heat have gone cold after a hot start.
Not something we like to see here, but hopefully the Heat can retool their offense and get some buckets on the board.
Yeah. Look, they're looking to get back in the win column, man. We were looking good at 3-1. Looks like we've lost a couple games in a row. Last night to LA, the tough one in San Antonio. So hopefully we can bounce back tonight on this West Coast trip and get a dub in Los Angeles.
A much needed dub at that.
Yes, sir. Heat Zone Live, Game 7. So, Jerron, you gonna be doing this for every Heat game?
I sure am.
That sounds fun, man. I can hop on every now and then. I'll stay on for a little bit, maybe the whole first half, and we'll do it. We'll do this together. It'll be fun. Then I'll probably crash out, man. I'm an old man, so I gotta hit the stack. Gotta be up early tomorrow morning. My little man's got basketball tryouts, he had his first day of tryouts today.
Well, I hope you're just hoping he sticks with it, and I hope he makes the team.
Yeah, he was feeling good today. He was feeling good today after the first day. So tomorrow they'll do some more drills, and we'll find out on Wednesday.
Okay, and we are back.
All right, I'm a little behind because I got an illegal box, so I'm streaming it illegally. So I'm a little bit behind.
Don't worry, I got you. Davion Mitchell with that basket, and the Heat trail by 3. Chris Paul's now in the game for the Clippers.
Chris Paul, the ageless wonder.
The point guard.
The point guard, for sure. Oh, I just saw Mitchell's bucket. Okay.
All right, Simone Fontecchio gives it to Davion Mitchell. To Wiggins, that's a 3. And that's a no-go. Chris Paul now bringing it up the floor for the Clippers. Being guarded by Davion Mitchell. Zubac now being guarded by Kel'el Ware. John Collins now being guarded by Jaquez. Gets his shot blocked. And here comes Jaime Jaquez. To Simone Fontecchio. That's a 3. Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio. 3 for Miami. And we are all tied up at 24.
Yeah, that's a pretty good Italian right there, Duran Fontecchio. Fontecchio started hot against the Lakers last night and cooled down considerably. He missed quite a few shots there towards the end.
Yeah, Miami's offense cooled off badly against the Lakers last night. As Fontecchio comes up with a steal. Gives it to Wiggins. Wiggins now being guarded by John Collins. Wiggins with the spin. The fadeaway, and he gives Miami the lead. Miami now on an 11-4 run. Right. Kawhi now has it. To John Collins. He misses the 3. Fontecchio with the rebound. Here goes Jaime Jaquez Jr. Fontecchio. Loses the ball, and it will go to the Clippers.
Man, when Hawkins is on the floor, man, that plus minus that he's bringing so far this year is crazy.
Much improved from last season.
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan of Triple J, man. He's a smart player. You know, played at a great program in college at UCLA. You know, got big game experience. This is a guy who can play both ends of the floor real well, can stretch the floor. I think his perimeter shooting has gotten a lot better. He's definitely attacking the rack a lot to start this year. The pace, man, he's playing at a crazy pace.
Yes, he is. He's at a much improved pace. I think he's going to be the next improved player of the year in my book.
Yeah, he's a huge piece of this team. I like him in the future plans, man. One guy that I haven't been impressed with thus far, and I don't understand our infatuation with him, is Jovic. I think he plays really sloppy. He just kind of looks like he's off balance a lot. Also, there's been some criticism about Kel'el Ware's motor. You know, he's got a ton of upside, but I know from what I've heard that Spoelstra has criticized his motor. So it's the guy that
on him a lot.
Yeah.
Kel'el Ware knocking down both free throws for Miami to give them the lead.
Yeah, that's huge. That's something that we missed. We missed a lot of free throws last night against the Lakers, man. I think we missed more than 10 free throws. We got to the line a lot, which was huge. But if you look at it, that could have been the difference in the game. I think you shot maybe just over 70% from the line last night against LA. Unacceptable. You got to make those free throws.
Exactly. Especially when you're close to retaking the lead and trying to take over the game in the closing moments.
Yeah. No, that's something that you definitely saw last night, where you missed guys like Tyler Hero and Norman Powell that are closers, right? That can go out there and get you buckets when you need them. Or
Mhm.
like obviously a Jimmy Butler, right? You hate to bring up Jimmy's name, but he was definitely a closer, right? So that's something that the Heat have lacked. If you think about how many fourth quarter leads this team has given up, just last season, right? That was a huge knock on Spo. All those fourth quarter leads that this team gave up. It's unfortunate. So hopefully something that they clean up this season. Obviously, we fought back against a really, really good San Antonio team. Took the lead late in that game, late in the fourth, and then we were unable to close it out. But I think we were without Norman Powell for that game as well, were we not?
Yeah, we were without Norman Powell for that one.
Yeah, so that's a really, really good team out there in San Antonio, man. Obviously, Wembanyama is doing crazy things over there. Stephon Castle, they got a really, really good squad.
Yeah, I think Wemby could be the MVP.
Man,
That's a nice
Wembanyama,
block by Kelal Ware right there.
yeah, Ware is definitely a force down there. Like I said, we just hope that he continues to grow. Hitting free throws is big. His shot selection, I've seen his shot selection be really poor at times. You certainly don't want a guy of that size, shooting threes all the time. Yeah, it helps, but you don't want to fall in love with it. But yeah, I just saw the block from Calera. That was phenomenal. On Chris Dunn, I believe.
And Nikola Jovic missing that basket. Yeah, you're right about Nikola Jovic being off balance and making some questionable plays.
Yeah, like obviously you like his length, you like his athletic ability, his ability to stretch the floor a little bit. Grab those rebounds. You like his size, but he just feels a little not unorthodox. That's not the right word, but like he's almost like too off balance. He's not very polished, right? So you see the progression of Jaime Jaquez.
Yes.
That's hopefully the trend that you want Jokic to take and the path you want him to take. But as of right now, I'm giving Pelle Larsson minutes over Jovic. I'm sorry. I like what he brings. I like what he brings to the team. Fontecchio is obviously a great spark too, a great shooter, and can play some defense as well. So, I understand the admiration for Jovic.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I'm still really disappointed in what we've seen on the floor.
But my thing with Jovic is that not only is he off balance, but he just needs to find his own pace. If there's one thing that the Miami Heat prides itself on is getting their players into a groove and they stay in that groove. That makes them feel so unstoppable. So with Jovic, I think don't have him go too fast, but don't have him go too slow. Just have him find his center and his pacing, and I think the game will come to him in a way that he would feel more comfortable with.
Yeah. No, that's a good point, right? He hasn't found himself within the offense. He hasn't quite found where he fits in this particular offense and who he's more successful with on the floor, right? There's guys that could run. Remember when Duncan Robinson and fucking Bam used to run the pick and roll and that dribble handoff at the top of the key? He hasn't kind of found his role within the offense right now. Obviously, there's some new pieces that are being integrated, like the Norman Powells and the Fontecchios, and obviously Khalil Ware. Hopefully, he becomes more of an important piece in this offense. And obviously, when you get Tyler Hero back, that's gonna be huge, right? You got Drew Smith also running the point, right? He's a very heady player. Miami likes Drew Smith a lot. Hopefully he can stay healthy. I think he brings a great kind of calmness to the offense. I think he makes some good decisions with the basketball. But yeah, I mean, if I could pick out one guy right now that I'm disappointed in, it would be him. It would be Jovic, and not to pick on the young man. It's just, little things like that you need in order to win games against quality opponents, right? So that execution and those possessions, you can't have empty possessions against teams like the Clippers. I mean, everyone in the West is stacked, and there's so many good teams in the West.
Like OKC, Houston, Denver, Minnesota.
And even against teams that we play a lot, like even the Orlando Magic, right? You can't have those empty possessions and those bad shots and that questionable decision making against teams like that, because that's going to be the difference between you being a 3 or a 4 and then having a 3 or 4 seeder being in the play-in tournament.
Yes. So the Heat lead 32-30 to start the second quarter. And there's a 3 from John Collins, and the Clippers tie. Clippers retake the lead.
Looks like the ESPN box score there is a little bit ahead of us, too. Looks like the Heat have regained the lead in the second, early on in the second, 36-35. Hey, Duran, can you pull up the live box score? Is there a chance to see the box score for the 5 that are on the floor right now?
Well, I have the NBA app. I can look that one up.
Yeah, let's check it out. This is an interesting 5 on the floor right now for Miami. There's Fontecchio. I just saw him drive the lane and score. They got Fontecchio. You got Jovic is in there. That's a unique starting 5 right there. A lot of size.
Yep, and Jaquez makes that layup.
Yeah, Jaquez. I like Jaquez in whatever rotation. He's been a spark.
Yes. Jaquez has found his speed. He's found his groove so far this season.
He definitely has, man. He definitely has.
And John Collins gets that basket. He'll go to the line for the and-1.
Oh, I just saw the Collins bucket. Collins is a guy that Miami pursued a lot when he was with the Hawks. I'm a big John Collins fan. I think he's also another great rebounding forward, a guy who can stretch the floor as well. A lot of versatility.
And Kyle Ware with that alley-oop.
The
Jovic to Ware connection right there, man.
Yeah, like I said, this is a unique 5 on the floor right here. Drew Smith, Fontecchio, Jaquez, Jovic, and Ware. I like what Spo's doing. That's a great look. I just saw the Jovic dish to Khalil Ware. I like that.
And here comes Drew Smith, baseline, and Jaquez with the cleanup. So right now the Heat are leading by 3 in this one. That's a 3 from Zubac, and he knocks it down.
Oh, I just saw the Jaquez finish after the Drew Smith missed layup. Okay.
And there's a 3 from Simone Fontecchio.
Fontecchio's catching fire. He's got 8, right?
Now he's got 10 points off 2 for 2 from 3-point land.
Oh, so he's got 10?
Yep.
Oh, I just saw Brook Lopez hit the 3. Here's Fontecchio. There it is, little corner. Oh, he's got a 4-point play opportunity for Fontecchio.
Ooh. Molto bene.
I like
the one for Fontecchio.
I like the accent, Duran. You pulled that off, man.
Thanks. All right, here's Harden being guarded by Drew Smith. Bradley Beal now has it back to Harden.
Fontecchio's got 11. He's 4 of 4 from the field. He's perfect from the field. 2 of 2 from downtown and 4 of 4 overall. He's got 11 points early. A big spark off the bench for the Heat, Fontecchio.
Yeah, along with Jaquez.
Yeah. Hey, that trade with Detroit is looking better and better each day. Duncan has still as yet to catch fire or find his groove over there in Detroit. That's a silly foul by Jovic out on the perimeter against James Harden. He's going to do that all the time. I don't like that foul call. I would challenge that, man. That's a terrible call. I'm not a big fan of those, landing in my space and the kick out and all that crap. I think they really need to nip that in the butt. But man, that's unfortunate. You foul a shooter like James Harden, he's getting 3 freebies right now.
Yeah.
Looks like he hit them all.
Yeah, Harden hit all 3 free throws. One thing about James Harden is that he's very sneaky. He's very deceitful. You don't think much of him because he looks slow. I won't say slow, but off kilter. Like, you don't think he's that smart, but then he catches you lacking.
Yeah, no, yeah, he plays at his own pace, right? Nobody's gonna rush James Harden into something he doesn't want to do. He's become a very good passer in the latter part of his career. Obviously still a tremendous scoring threat.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, not someone that you're going to see, running up and down the court. Fontecchio with his first miss.
Mm-hmm. And we just talked about controlling and dictating pace. That's something Nikola Jovic should do. And the Clippers retake the lead on that basket. All right, Fontecchio loses the ball. The Clippers now have it. And Bradley Beal gets the layup. The Clippers lead by 3. Here comes Jovic to Fontecchio to Jaquez. Kel'el Ware. And Kel'el Superboy Ware ties the game at 47. Again, we talked about Kel'el Ware with those three ball attempts.
Yeah, I mean, certainly a shot that he can hit, and that one's not a bad shot at all. I just saw it, not contested. You got nobody on you. It's in rhythm. You go ahead and you take that shot all day, right? If they're going to give it to you, and he hit it. Miami's shooting 50% from deep, almost 60% overall.
And there he goes again, Kel'el Superboy Ware with another corner 3 to give Miami the lead. The Heat lead 50-47 in the second quarter. Now, what would be your hot take regarding the Miami Heat this season?
Man, I think it's too early on to have any hot takes. I mean, it's different for me to see them play at the pace that they're playing, right? Because you think of Miami as one of those teams that kind of grinds it out. They rely on their defense. Any team coached by Eric Spoelstra is always going to be, hone in on defense. And that's going to, that culture is not for everybody, man. So it's tough to have a hot take, but I don't think that's sustainable. I don't think this is the type of team that's built to run like that. I don't see them running with a team like OKC. I don't think guys like Jovic. I don't think guys like even Adebayo. I don't see Adebayo as one of those guys that could sustain that pace back and forth, right? So I don't know if that's something that they're just kind of trying out with different guys on the floor. But I mean, it's led to some high scoring games. Some higher offensive output, right? you have guys like a Norman Powell that can possibly do that for for the course of an entire game. But I just don't think it's sustainable. I don't think it's championship basketball. It's in the playoffs, when you're playing against solid teams, defense is what's going to win you championships. Look at OKC's suffocating defense. Last season in their finals run, that obviously produced a championship. It was their defense really, that kind of propelled them right to the top. And also the Pacers were a very defensive team first, defensive minded team with Rick Carlisle. So I just don't think that pace that they're running at, what we've seen thus far in the first 6 games of the season, is sustainable. So that's what I've observed as of right now. It's fun. It's exciting to watch. But at the end of the day, it's not going to produce a championship. At least I don't think.
Well, I think if Miami can control the pace, if they can just learn how to harness it and utilize it as part of their identity, then they will be fine. And
see, look, there's that graphic that we were talking about, or not the graphic, just about what we were talking about, the new offense, right? They showed the ranks from last season, and they showed the ranks early on this year, as far as the offense that they're running. It's very fast paced. Hopefully they'll show that graphic again, but as of right now, you see it in the first half. You can sustain it, and you can kind of continue to play that way and continue to play at that pace, but it wears on you, and sometimes you're unable to do that the entire game. Like I said, right now they're shooting over 60%, and they got some points off turnovers, some transition buckets, which is always nice. But at the end of the game, at the end of the day,
and Miami, he got numbers, and they get the layup.
Yeah, at the end of the day, rebounding and defense are what's going to win you those games against those better opponents.
Yeah, the rebounding and the defense, plus controlling the pace, that's what creates championship contenders. That's what creates winners.
Yeah, absolutely.
So far in this one, the Heat have leading by 4. Here comes Jovic. Jovic will go to the line for 2 free throws. So
I just saw ex Miami Heat player Derrick Jones Jr., who's become a big piece of this Clipper team. Hit a 3 from the wing there. I just saw the Jovic foul. You see, even that drive to the basket, he looked off balance. I don't know if you caught that, Duran.
Yeah, I caught that.
Even that drive to the basket, he just looked like I don't know. It looked off balance, like it,
sloppy. Sloppy.
very, very sloppy. It's just a lot. There's a lot to clean up. Turnover by Powell. Beal with the steal. And the left-handed finish on the other end.
You know what player I think Nikola Jovic should model his game after? I think he should model his game after Manu Ginobili.
Yeah, that's obviously European, right? Those European players, they play a different brand of basketball, right? We already know that. Manu's one of the greats, man. I used to love watching Manu Ginobili play. He was so crafty, so shifty. It's a guy who could create for himself, a guy who could create for his teammates, a guy who could go and hit you, and play amongst the trees down low and finish down low, and a guy who could hit you, who could hit a perimeter shot, and a guy who could also grab an important rebound when you needed it.
I think that's someone Jovic should study more of. And as for Kel'el Ware, I think he should study some of the big men from the 90s. specifically guys like Alonzo Mourning and Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah.
If you put Kel'el Ware in a training session with Hakeem Olajuwon, I think he's going to learn a lot more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Hakeem had phenomenal footwork, right? That's one of the things that he was so known for, right? His footwork in the paint. And Hakeem's not one of those guys that's gonna jump out of the gym. He wasn't overly, he wasn't like an athletic.
He wasn't flashy or aggressive.
Right. He wasn't an athletic freak or anything like that. A guy who was fundamentally sound, had amazing footwork. And was just a real, really just fundamentally sound, like a Tim Duncan, one of the greatest power forwards to ever play the game. Another guy who wasn't flashy. But
now, if you combine the solid footwork of Hakeem Olajuwon and Tim Duncan with the aggressiveness and the ballsiness of Alonzo Mourning, I think you're going to have a unique set for Kel'el Ware.
Yeah, well, another thing that Kel'el Ware brings, obviously, is perimeter shooting, which he's demonstrated early on in this game. He hit a couple threes there back-to-back, forcing the Clipper timeout. But, again, that has to be one of those things where, hey, when we need Khalil to hit a three, fine, maybe he can step out and hit one. But when we need him to be a force down low and be a true center and impose his will on defense as well as on offense, then that's what he's going to have to turn into. That's the kind of skill set that elevates you now, right? He's got to be, he's got to get a little bigger for one. I think he's got to beef up a little bit.
Yeah, put on some muscle.
Yeah, put on a little muscle so he's not manhandled down there by the bigger guys.
Like Nikola Jokic.
Like the Jokic or
the Jared Allens or Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah, or even a Zubac. Zubac's a more traditional center, right? But Steve, this is I'm seeing now where the Clippers are kind of not pulling away, but I see it right now. 4 minutes left. I'm a little bit behind that ESPN graphic. But look, the Clippers have built a 6-point lead. Why? Because what have I said about that pace? That pace is hard to sustain, man. You're going to have to play some defense, run those guys off the 3-point line, defend the three, and grab your rebounds, man, and you force the Clippers to take contested shots. And when you play at that pace, you also give up a lot of transition buckets. You tend to turn the ball over a little bit more. It can generate, high scoring first halves, but the freaking Lakers hung 70 on us or something in the first half. Did they not last night?
Yeah, 77 points, I think.
Yeah, dude, that's ridiculous, and then if you, and it's also important to rotate the pieces correctly when you play at this pace, because you're gonna have to, keep your guys fresh. There's gonna be some guys who you might need to sit, and kind of bring in some fresh legs, when this is the pace that you're playing at.
And just what we're talking about pace. They need more of that on defense, and they let Zubac get an easy, uncontested dunk.
Yeah, and that's where playing. I think it's important. And yeah, there's the dunk I just saw in that little, but that's a great pocket pass right there. That's a great pocket pass to Zubac. He rolled. Adebayo stepped up, and then there was nobody to cover Adebayo on the back end. That's a great pass by Kawhi. Adebayo got caught switching over to Kawhi, which you can respect, because you got to respect Kawhi, right? And then there was just no help on the backside for Zubac. So Clippers got a 6-point lead, 64 to 58. I'd like to see more of Kel'el Ware and Bam Adebayo on the floor at the same time. I think that's important, because what happened there, you see, Bam would have switched onto Kawhi, but you would have had Ware down there in the paint, protecting the paint. When you have two bigs like that, you can defend that type of pick and roll basketball. But the Clippers are very well coached too, man. Ty Lue's a great coach. They got a ton of talent on that roster. And like we were talking about earlier, man, that West is stacked. This is a good early test for Miami. Obviously, who did we beat the brakes off of? Memphis, that one game, right?
Yeah.
But Memphis is missing. Remember they got rid of one of their big guys, and Desmond Bain went over to Orlando.
Desmond Bain was a defensive force for them.
Yeah. So that's a big piece for them to lose. So I don't know that Memphis is going to contend. This year out in the West. It's just there's too much talent out in the West, man.
I highly doubt it, especially when you have the situation with Ja Morant wanting out of Memphis.
There's a good chance that Ja Morant doesn't finish the season with the Grizzlies. It's a weird situation out there, but I mean, there's a lot of parity in this league. There's a lot of parity in the West. There's going to be some opportunities in the East for Miami to do something. Early on in the season, they had an impressive win against the Knicks. This is a team that a lot of people think are going to go back to the Eastern Conference Finals, and Miami has beat the Knicks already. Given it's early, right? It's a small sample size, but here you go playing some of the teams out west, like LA and the Lakers and the Clippers, and you see them. They lost to the Lakers last night, and they're struggling to hold off the Clippers offense early on in the game in the first half.
Yeah, now the Heat are struggling and they're down by 6.
Yeah, down by 6, under 2 minutes left in the first half. These are. Oh, see, there's a backcourt violation. There's a careless turnover that I just saw there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is again something that could be mitigated. With the return of Tyler Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Tyler's gonna be running point a lot. I'd love to see Drew Smith and Tyler Hero on the floor at the same time. That way, Tyler can be more himself and not have to worry about creating for others, and be able to be more of a natural scorer.
I think when Tyler Hero comes back, the dynamic for the Heat is going to change on both ends of the floor, mainly on offense. But as far as defense is concerned, I think they're gonna have to really hunker down.
Yeah, it's There's a good take by Hawkes. But yeah, I just saw 2 straight Norman Powell turnovers. That happens when you're trying to run, and it's almost like a little too chaotic, and Norman's one of those catch and shoot guys. I mean, yeah, he's going to be able to run transition with you from time to time, but he's going to be one of those guys that, is going to knock down some corner threes for you. He's a bucket getter. But that's another thing that maybe Norman's not so comfortable with as far as that pace is concerned, right?
And speaking of bucket getter, James Harden knocked down that 3 to bring the Clippers up by 9
from way out there, man. Look at that, they're up 9. Another 70.
He just allowed Kawhi Leonard to get that layup.
Another 70 piece in the first half, dude. You see, that's something that, I mean, I guess you pick your poison, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, do you want to score more points, and do you want to have one of those games where you grind it out, or you pick up the pace, and this is what you run into. It's one of those who can get hot at what time, and it's so. I just think I don't like that brand of basketball. Maybe it's just me. I'm an old school guy. And not that we don't have the athletes to do that, but
now here's what I say: use the pace when you have it, but grind it out when you need it.
Yeah.
Meaning, it's better to grind it out most of the time, but don't overexert yourself with the pace. This is not a sprint. This is not a sprint. It's a 48-minute game. Sometimes I could go into overtime.
Exactly. No, that's a very good point. It's not a sprint, man. This is a marathon. It's an 82-game season, and this shit might work against a couple opponents here and there. But it's not always, you're gonna run up, you're gonna have your matchup problems, which I see a lot of matchup problems with this particular team right here. Obviously they have the edge in the point guard, at the point guard spot with Harden. They have some good veterans there. Obviously Chris Paul, Nicholas Batum, Kawhi. That's a big advantage for them to have that. Kawhi, who what he can do defensively, and he obviously is a huge offensive weapon.
All right, so Norman Powell's going to the line for 3 free throws.
Yeah, it looks
needed for Miami.
It looks like he made them all, and that's the halftime score, 71-66. The Clippers up by 5 at the break. So we'll see what kind of adjustments Eric Spoelstra makes at the half. Obviously, you saw what this team is capable of. I think they need to start running the offense a little bit more through Bam. Remember, Bam got off to a hot start, even hit a couple threes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he made a 3.
Yeah, but I'm curious to see what he did in that second quarter. I don't think he did much of anything in that second quarter. As far as the free throws, they're pretty much even. It looks like Miami is 9 of 11, about to be 10 of 12. Yeah, 10 of 12 in the first half, and the Clippers were 7 of 11 from the charity stripe in the first half. So it looks like Miami just has to make some adjustments defensively. Be able to look. That was an easy drive too. Harden missed a layup at the end of the quarter that could have given the Clippers an 8-point lead. Yeah, or a 7-point lead, right? So yeah, they're gonna have to defend James Harden a little bit better. Continue to grab rebounds and not turn the ball over, man. We can't hurt ourselves. So we'll see what kind of adjustments Spo makes at the break. Hopefully we see a little bit more of Jaquez. It looks like he's he didn't get to start, but he adds a spark coming off the bench. But I didn't see a whole lot of Jovic. I need to see a little bit more from Jovic.
Yeah, we definitely need to see a lot from Jovic.
It looks like Ware found a little bit of a rhythm there about midway through the second. I'd love to get Adebayo, back in there, maybe slow things down a little bit, run the offense through Adebayo. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Not anybody in foul trouble, really. I don't think on either side. I don't think the Clippers or the Heat have anyone in foul trouble.
Well, I think Norman Powell had 2 fouls only.
Yeah. So yeah, we can pull up the box score if you want to pull up the box score, Duran, see what sticks out there. See what sticks out to us in the box score.
All right. So far, Norman Powell got 13 points. Kelly Ware with 12 points. Simone Vecchio with 11, and Bam also with 11 points. So
yeah, but if you remember, I want to say probably about 7 of those 11 that Bam had were in the first couple minutes of the first quarter. So Bam went kind of quiet in the second there.
So we definitely need Bam to erupt in the second half. Bam needs to erupt in the second half. Kelly Ware needs to erupt in the second half. I know Jaime Jaquez Jr. is going to do his thing in the second half.
Yeah, I think Jaime. I hope that Jaime can continue to pour out the offense that he's been dishing out early on in the season. I think we'll see that from Jaime in the second half. But I feel like we need to slow down the pace a little bit. I think it helps Miami to play a little bit more of that half court game. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of adjustments Spo makes. I'm looking forward to hearing good things in the morning. But I'm gonna sign off for now, Duran. I appreciate you, man. Have fun in the second half, and let's go Heat.
All right, let's go Heat.
See ya,
Thank
brother.
you. Thank you for your time, Alex.
Yeah, thank you, man.
All right, take care, man. God bless.
See ya, brother. Good night. You too.
Mhm. And that was Alex Bustillo, ladies and gentlemen. Very insightful commentary from him as well as myself. Hopefully we get to see more of him throughout this season. So right now I'm going to take a break. The Heat trailing by 5. And hopefully they can turn things around in the second half. And we are back for the third quarter. Score is 71-66. Clippers. The Heat shooting 56% from the field. The Clippers shooting 53% from the field. While the Heat do have the pace advantage, they tend to overdo it a lot on offense. So they need to not only learn how to dictate that pace, but to also utilize the grind. So I think the Heat have a good chance. They have a good chance of winning this game if they know how to try not to go pace for pace and at least utilize the grind when need be. I mean, use the pace if you have it, but definitely use the grind when you need it. And this is one of those games where they're going to need it. Alright, so here we go to kick off the third quarter. Alright, Clippers will have a side out. Bradley Beal now has it, being guarded by Pelle Larsson. Larsson gives it to Kawhi. Here comes Kawhi with a fadeaway, and he gets it. Clippers lead by 7. Davion Mitchell now has it. Being guarded by Harden. Gives it to Wiggins. Wiggins gets his shot blocked, but it will go out of bounds on the Clippers. Norman Powell misses that basket. Harden now has it, being guarded by Larsson. Gives it to Bradley Beal. And that rims out. Rebound by Bam, and he gives it to Davion Mitchell. Here comes Bam. Out to Wiggins, that's a 3. And that's a miss. Harden now has the ball. And it's stolen away by Pelle Larsson. And that gives the Heat a 5-point. The Heat are within 5 right now. Nice heads-up play by Larsson. Kawhi Leonard now has it. The Clippers are swinging the ball around. That's an open 3. And that's the 3 for Bradley Beal. Here comes Davion Mitchell. And he gets the layup. The Clippers lead by 6. The Heat will need more from Andrew Wiggins, Davion Mitchell, and Kel'el Ware for this one. Here comes Harden. Stolen away by Larsson. Larsson to Powell. Back to Larsson. Larsson loses the ball, but Bam recovers it. Bam now being double teamed. Bam gets the hook and the basket. And the Heat are within 4 now. Bam Adebayo shooting 13 points off of 6 of 9 from the field. And ball's knocked loose. So it's a kickball violation on the Heat. So the Clippers will have it side out. And that's going to be a 5-second violation on the Clippers. So it will be Heat ball. Miami catching a lucky break on that one. 9 turnovers for the Clippers, 8 turnovers for the Heat. Davion Mitchell now uses the Bam. Bam loses the ball, but it recovers it, and it's going to be a foul on Zubac. The Heat will have it side out. Bam was hoping he would get 2 free throws on that one. Davion Mitchell now has it, being guarded by Bradley Beal. Norman Powell has it. Out to Bam. Swings it to Wiggins, and Wiggins gets an easy, uncontested layup. The Heat are within 2 now. Alright, the Clippers are swinging the ball around. And that one's going to be an offensive foul on the Clippers. Alright, here comes Davion Mitchell, being guarded by Bradley Beal. Bam, an open 3. And Bam Adebayo gets a friendly bounce and the lead for the Heat. And the Clippers call timeout. The score is 77-76 Miami. And we are back for the third quarter. Score is 77-76 Miami. Bradley Beal brings it up to the floor for the Clippers. Gives it to Derrick Jones Jr. Being guarded by Powell. Gives it to Kawhi. Kawhi being guarded by Wiggins. Here comes Kawhi. Kawhi misses that basket. Clippers will have a side out. They give it to Zubac. Here comes Harden. Kicks out to Bradley Beal for the corner 3, and he knocks it down to give the Clippers the lead. Here comes Bam Adebayo. Gives it to Davion Mitchell. Wiggins, corner three, and he knocks it down. Andrew Chief Wiggins, 3 for Miami. Davion Mitchell now with 6 points and 6 assists. Zubac being guarded by Bam. Ball is knocked loose, and it will be Heat ball. Nice defensive effort from the Heat. Here comes Davion Mitchell, being guarded by Leonard. Davion again. Gives it to Bam. And Bam will go for the and one. Nice assist from Davion Mitchell now. Bam misses the and one opportunity as the Heat go up by 3. Miami are on a 14-3 run right now. Harden now has the ball, being guarded by Wiggins. And Wiggins loses the ball, and here comes Miami. But it's going to be called a foul on the Heat. That was a reach-in foul on Andrew Wiggins. Oh. Looks like there's going to be a technical free throw for the Heat. Norman Powell knocks it down. So the Heat will go up by 4. Miami are on a 15-3 run. So I guess they will have the ball right back. Davion Mitchell now has it, being guarded by Bill. They give it to Bam. Bam being guarded. Bam misses the basket. Here comes Harden now, being guarded by Larson. Zubac back taps it out, but it will be Heat ball. Bam now gives it to Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell loses the ball, but it will be out on the Clippers. It will be Heat ball. So far, the Clippers have 6 turnovers in this quarter. Miami has yet to commit a turnover in this one. Well, in the third quarter, actually. Wiggins got fouled, so the Heat will have it side out again. Larson now gives it. That's going to be another foul on the Clippers. This one's going to be on Derrick Jones Jr. And that will put the Heat in the bonus. 2 free throws for Norman Powell. He makes the first. Norman Powell makes both free throws. The Heat lead by 6. Here comes Kawhi Leonard. Gets to the lane, and he gets the layup. Here comes Larson now. That's a 3. And go Norman Powell Ranger. That's a 3 for Miami. Norman Powell now with 19 points off 2 for 3 shooting from behind the arc. Leonard now being guarded by Larson, and that's almost a steal. And that's going to be a jump ball between Bam and Kawhi. good hustle play by Pele Larson to come up with that defensive effort. The Heat win the tip. And here comes Davion Mitchell to Bam. And Bam gets the basket again. The Heat lead by 9. Bam Adebayo with 19 points off 9 for 13 shooting from the field. Harden almost loses the ball. Zubac sets the screen. Miami's defense is smothering right now. And that's going to be a traveling violation on the Clippers. And Zubac does not look pleased about that call. Again, Miami's defense, they have turned it around. They turned it around in this one. The Clippers now with 8 turnovers in the third quarter. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is now in the game. Andrew Wiggins gives it to Bam. Here comes Bam. Bam gets fouled by Zubac, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. And Bam goes 1 of 2 from the line. The Heat now lead by 10. Here comes Kawhi. Here comes Kawhi now, being guarded by Larson. Kawhi gives it to Derrick Jones Jr. And it's stolen away by Miami. Given right back to the Clippers. Kawhi misses that one. Rebound by Bam. Here come the Heat. Miami on a 14-2 run right now. Davion Mitchell gives it to Bam. Bam being guarded by Derrick Jones Jr. Bam with a turnaround. He misses it. Rebound by Zubac. Zubac is flirting with a double-double opportunity. He has 14 points and 6 points. 6 points and 14 rebounds. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. All right, James Harden at the line for the Clippers. He makes the first. And he makes both free throws. The Clippers trail by 8. James Harden with 18 points in this one. That's a 3 from Pele Larson. And Pele Larson knocks down the 3. Pele Larson with 6 points off 2 for 3 shooting from the 3-point line. And that's going to be an offensive foul on the Clippers, so it will be Heat ball. Pele Larson taking charge for the Heat right now. And that's another basket for Miami. Davion Mitchell now with 8 points, shooting 50% from the field. Here comes Kawhi Leonard. An open 3 on the way. And the Clippers get one. So the Clippers trail by 10. Here comes Hawkins. Right. Miami swinging the ball around. Wiggins almost lost it. Wiggins being guarded now. Wiggins with a turnaround jumper. Scores. Andrew Wiggins now with 11 points off 5 for 9 shooting from the field as the Heat go up by 12. Kawhi now gets fouled and will go to the line for 2 free throws. Kawhi makes the first. Kawhi makes both free throws, and that brings the Clippers within 10. Nikola Jovic is back in the game, and so is Drew Smith. Here comes Jovic, looking for a lob to Kelly Ware, but it was broken up by the Clippers, and that's going to be a foul on the Clippers. So we got ourselves a timeout. Score is 98-88 Miami. And we are back. Score is 98-88. And 30 years ago to this day, the Miami Heat made a monumental trade that brought Alonzo Mourning from the Charlotte Hornets in exchange for Glenn Rice, Matt Geiger, Khalid Reeve, and a first round pick. the Heat also had LeBron Ellis and Pete Myers. Of course, the main centerpiece here will be Mourning, who not only changed the culture of the Miami Heat, but also gave them an identity. Of course, Mourning would return back to the Heat, winning his only NBA championship as part of that 2006 Miami Heat team with Shaquille O'Neal, Dwayne Wade, and Udonis Haslem. All right, so we're back. Nikola Jovic is at the line for Miami. He missed the first free throw. So it's now an 11-point game for Miami. Here comes Chris Dunn, bringing it up to the floor. Gives it to Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi gives it to John Collins. And John Collins missing that one. And Zubac and Jovic, Zubac and Fontecchio go down hard. Zubac clutching his head right now. He took a nasty shot. Damn, he took a nasty shot in his noggin. Once from Fontecchio, and I think Kel'el Ware from Kel'el Ware's elbow when he was going for the rebound. John Collins will inbound the ball. Gives it to Chris Paul. Chris Paul being guarded by Drew Smith. Gives it to Chris Dunn. And Chris Dunn gets the basket over Kel'el Ware. The Clippers trail by 9. Here comes Hawkes. Gives it to Drew Smith. To Jovic. Jovic being guarded by Chris Dunn. Gives it to Hawkes. Hawkes running the baseline. Jovic recovers the ball, and it's a costly turnover. That's going to be a backcourt violation on Miami. Jovic needs to take better care of the ball. That's a costly turnover now. The Clippers already have 16, Miami with 10 in this whole game. Like I said when I was talking with Alex regarding Jovic, he needs a more refined game because he's playing like he's off balance. He's playing very sloppily. I know he's doing his best out there, but he needs to tone it down a bit as John Collins makes that layup to bring the Clippers within 7. Hawkes now gives it to Drew Smith. Kel'el Ware gives it to Jovic. Jovic finds Kel'el Superboy Ware for that layup. As the Heat go up by 9. As a 3 on the way. It's a miss for the Clippers. Zubac gets the rebound and the putback. Here comes Miami now. They lead by 7. Drew Smith drives to the lane, and he gets the layup. The Heat return to the lead at 9. Here comes Kawhi Leonard, being guarded by Hawkes. Chris Paul now has it, being guarded by Drew Smith. Chris Dunn set the screen. CP3 now being guarded by Jovic. Jovic got flustered and fell down. John Collins recovers the rebound. The Clippers swinging the ball around again. And that's going to be a foul on the play. I think that foul is going to be on Drew Smith. Zubac misses the first. And Zubac makes the second. The Clippers trail by 8 in this one. Here comes Hawkes now, being guarded by Chris Dunn. Here comes Jaquez. Jaquez misses the basket. Here come the Clippers now. They give it to Kawhi Leonard. Out to Chris Paul. That's a three. And that will end the third quarter. Score is 103-95 Miami. We will be right back for the fourth quarter. And we are back to begin the fourth quarter. The Clippers getting some free throws, I see. And here's Kel'el Ware. Kel'el Superboy Ware. A three. Well, they say it's a two, but I think that's a three for Miami. Miami's defense showing some signs of vitality. That's a three for Collins. That's a miss. And here comes Jaquez. Jaquez with the three. He misses. Here comes Chris Dunn for the Clippers. He brings it up the floor. Harden to Collins. That's a corner three. And he knocks it down. John Collins brings the Clippers within 5. Collins now with 10 points off 4 for 9 shooting from the field. And here comes Drew Smith now. Drew Smith being guarded by CP3. And Drew Smith loses the ball. Here comes Harden. James Harden gets fouled and will go to the line for 2 free throws. Miami so far shot 15 for 20 from the free throw line. The Clippers have shot 12 for 17 from the free throw line. James Harden knocks down the first. And Harden makes both free throws. So the Clippers are within 3 now. Here's Jovic. That's a miss. Rebound by Chris Paul. He gives it to Harden. Harden looking for the 3. He misses it. Back tapped out to Chris Paul. That's a 3 for the tie. And he ties the game. And we are tied at 105. Thanks to Chris Paul. And we are back. We're tied at 105. Kawhi Leonard and James Harden combined for 44 points and 11 assists in this game. And the Heat outscored the Clippers 37-24 in the third quarter. But right now, the Clippers are starting to catch up. Well, they have caught up, hence why we have a tie game. So the Heat need to show more of that grit and determination that they had in the third quarter. And that's going to be a foul on the Clippers. All right, and here comes Davion Mitchell. Hawkins misses a layup. Here comes James Harden now. And that's going to be out of bounds on the Clippers. Here comes Davion Mitchell now. The Clippers are on an 8-0 run. Fontecchio a three. He misses. Rebound by Harden. He gets it to Chris Paul. Chris Paul missing that three. Here comes Jaquez. Ball is knocked loose by the Clippers, and it will be Heat ball. Bam Adebayo has it, being guarded by Harden. This is Davion Mitchell. Here comes Davion. Bam, corner three. He misses it. Chris Paul now has it. We're all tied up at 105. Chris Paul gives it to John Collins. John Collins misses that shot. Here comes Bam. Bam gets fouled by Brook Lopez. Alright, the Heat will have it side out. Bam now has the ball, being guarded by Harden. And an errant pass from Bam leads to the Clippers taking the ball. And nice defensive effort by Davion Mitchell. And just as the Heat had the ball, the Clippers come right back with the steal and the John Collins dunk. Here comes Jovic. Ball is knocked loose, and the Clippers will have it. The corner three, it's a miss. The Heat are fortunate for that one. Here comes Davion Mitchell now. Clippers are on a 10-0 run. And Jovic gets a rebound and put back to give Miami the lead. We're tied at 107. A much needed basket from Miami. But we're tied at 107 and we'll be right back. And we are back. Score is tied at 107. Alright, Harden has the ball, being guarded by Davion Mitchell. Gives it to Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi being guarded by Wiggins. Gives it to Lopez. That's a three. It's a miss. Rebound by Chris Dunn. Gives it to Kawhi Leonard. That's a three. Davion Mitchell. Davion gives it to Wiggins. Wiggins gets tied up, and it's going to be a jump ball. It's going to be a jump ball between Wiggins and Kawhi. Smart heads up play by Kawhi. Miami wins the tip. Norman Powell now has it, being guarded by Chris Dunn. Ball's knocked away by the Clippers, but it will be Heat ball. The Heat will have it side out. Norman Powell gives it to Larson. That's a three for Wiggins. And Chief Wiggins knocks down the three to give Miami the lead. Here comes Kawhi. Kawhi being guarded by Norman Powell. And Kawhi knocks down that basket. The Clippers trail by a point. Davion Mitchell gets it to Wiggins. Wiggins misses the layup. Ball's knocked loose, but it will be Clippers ball. The Heat have a 1. Here comes Harden. Gives it to Kawhi. Kawhi being guarded by Wiggins. Kawhi misses that basket. Here comes Andrew Wiggins. Gives it to Norman Powell. Here comes Powell. Powell gets the pump fake and the layup to give Miami a 3-point lead. Norman Powell in this one has 21 points off 6 for 9 shooting from the field. Here comes Zubac. Zubac loses the ball. Here comes Wiggins. Wiggins give it to Larson. Larson having trouble with the ball. Almost came up with an and one opportunity, but he will go to the line for 2 free throws. All right, Larson hits the first, and that brings Miami to a 4-point lead. Larson goes 1 of 2 from the line. And here come the Clippers now. Zubac being guarded by Bam. Gives it to Harden. Harden driving to the lane. Harden gets a layup, and that brings the Clippers within 2. Here comes Davion Mitchell now. Gives it to Norman Powell. Powell being guarded by. And that's a 3-point shot! I'm sorry. Did the foul come before the shot? Will it count? That one should count. That one should count. That one should count. But no, it will be side out for Miami. Here comes Norman Powell. Powell gets his shot blocked. And here come the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard now gives it to James Harden. John Collins setting the screen. Harden guarded by Davion Mitchell. Double teamed by the Miami Heat. They give it to Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi with a fadeaway. And he knocks it down under duress. And we're all tied up at 113. Kawhi Leonard with 27 points off 10 for 18 shooting from the field. Bam being guarded by Zubac. And we're going to have a timeout for Miami. We are tied at 113. And we are back. Kawhi Leonard so far has 27 points, 4 steals, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds off 10 for 18 shooting from the field for the Clippers. I mean, that was crazy how he managed to get that shot off to tie the game. I mean, but then again, it's Kawhi Leonard. He makes clutch baskets like that. Miami will have it. Davion Mitchell gives it to Norman Powell. To Larson, that's a 3. Larson misses. Rebound by James Harden. Harden being guarded by Davion Mitchell. Harden flies around. Gives it to Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi with the setback. He misses, and rebound by Bam. Bam being guarded by Zubac. Bam misses the basket, was hoping he would get a foul. But Bam has a double-double of 21 points and 10 rebounds. Here comes Harden now, being guarded by Wiggins. Harden overthrows the basketball, and that would be Heat ball. All right, here comes Davion Mitchell. Gives it to Bam. Out to Wiggins, that's a 3, and Andrew Chief Wiggins knocks down the 3 to give Miami the lead. Wiggins now with 17 points off 3 for 5 shooting from 3-point land. The Clippers are going to look to answer right back for the 3 of their own. Here's Collins. Gives it to Harden. Harden looking for a 3. And that's going to be a foul on Miami. Foul is on Davion Mitchell. The Heat had the right idea going for the double team, but Davion Mitchell overcommitted, reaching in for the foul. All right, Harden now has the ball, being guarded by Davion Mitchell. Harden, that's a long three. And oh my God, he knocked it down to tie the game at 116. Harden with 26 points off 5 for 9 shooting from three-point land. Bam now has the ball, being guarded by Zubac. Bam, and he knocks it down to give Miami the lead. Harden now has the ball. He's looking for a three to give the Clippers a lead. Harden now, step back three, thought about it. Ball is knocked loose, and it'll be Heat ball. It's edge of your seat time right now. Davion Mitchell passes it to Bam. Here comes Bam. Bam misses the layup, and he gets fouled. Woo! Bam goes to the line for 2 free throws. Bam makes the first. And Bam makes both free throws. So it'll be a timeout for the Clippers as the Heat lead 120 to 116. All right. And we're back. Score is 120 to 116, Miami. Clippers will inbound the ball. Harden gives it to Kawhi. Kawhi being double teamed by Wiggins. That's a three. That's a miss. And the Heat will have it. Davion Mitchell now. Looking to direct traffic. He gives it to Bam. Bam with the basket. No go. And here come the Clippers. Harden with a three. Oh God. And he knocks down that three. And the Heat will call a timeout. Score is 120 to 119, Miami. And we are back. Score is 121-19 Miami. Miami will inbound the ball. Both teams was a timeout left. Larson gives it to Powell. Powell's double team, but it's going to be a jump ball. It's going to be a jump ball between Zubac and Powell. Zubac is going to back tap it to either Harden or Kawhi. Most likely it's going to be Harden he's going to back tap it to. John Collins come in the game for the Clippers, replacing Chris Dunn. And the Clippers do win the tip. Alright, final seconds of the game. Ball's in the hands of Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi for the win. He misses it, and the Heat will walk away with this one. 120-119 in a close game thriller. Woo! The Heat come away with a much needed win on the road. I mean, Kawhi had a good look despite having 3 defenders on him. And that was a good defensive effort from Miami as well. And with that, the Heat come away with a win in LA against the Clippers. 120-119. You talk about a close game? This one right here was it. A high-scoring close game. What can you ask for? You know, the Heat was going off in the first quarter, but then the Clippers got back into their groove and started to make things happen for themselves. Then the second quarter, it kind of went back and forth until the Heat themselves, they knew that their pace was working against them on offense as well as defense. And not only did they kind of dictate their own pace, but they also got into a grinded out effort on defense, stealing the ball away from the Clippers and breaking up passes. Good showing from Pelle Larsson, Norman Powell, Davion Mitchell. I mean, there were some few moments for Nikola Jovic and Kel'el Ware, but again, it's a learning process for both of those guys. But it was also a big night for not just Norman Powell, but Bam Adebayo. Again, this was a much-needed win, and the Heat snapped their 2-game losing streak. So this was a much-needed win for Miami, as well as a confidence booster for them. And yes, this one was also a nail-biter. It was a nail-biter right down to the very end. You know, as basketball fans, we kind of say we don't like seeing these close games, but we love seeing these close games. And a shout out to Hellbeast183. Yes, let's go Heat. To answer your question, Universe Galaxy NBA. To answer your call, yeah. Well, we may have a little call-up section later in the season. Yeah, you may call in our program. We'll let you know. We'll let you know when you call us, or we will respond to you. Oh yeah, we use StreamYard, but we also use other mediums as well. So if you want to reach out to us, reach out to us on our Twitter page, our YouTube page. Is there a way to call in? Well, if you continue tuning in, we'll give you a heads up on it, and we'll give you a heads up on when you can call in and you can chat with us on future shows. So we're very open to that one. So I'll get in touch with my producers about that, and we would love to interact with you guys, or rather, I would love to interact with you guys and share my thoughts and knowledge on not just the Miami Heat, but also the NBA as a whole. And so far, this season has been nothing short of electric. And I'm loving what I'm seeing from all 30 teams, especially Miami. Right now, their pace is fast-paced. Their pace is fast, fluid, aggressive, and I'm loving every second of it. Not to mention that Jaime Jaquez Jr., he looks like a contender for Most Improved Player of the Year. So right now, the Miami Heat, they now improved to 4 wins and 3 losses. And you gotta admire a team that dug deep after losing 2 straight on the road, one against the Spurs, led by Victor Wembanyama, and against a LeBron James-less Lakers team that was led by Luka Doncic. So for the Heat, Andrew Wiggins had 17 points. Kel'el Ware, he bounced back with 16 points in this one. Simone Fontecchio with 11 points. Norman Powell, who was given a hero's welcome to Clippers fans, he had 21 points. And Bam Adebayo bounced back with a double-double performance of 25 points and 10 rebounds. And as for the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard led the way. Kawhi Leonard had 27 points. James Harden led the way with 29 points. Derrick Jones Jr. had 12 points. Ivica Zubac had a near double-double of 10 points and 18 rebounds. Chris Dunn had 10 points, and John Collins had 12 points. So again, this was a much-needed win for Miami, and I say that knowing that their next opponent is someone that us Heat fans have been familiar with, because we have not won against them in the regular season, except for that one time in the NBA Finals from 2 years ago. We got that Game 2 win, and that was the only win we had against them. Of course, I'm talking about the tall task of taking on the Denver Nuggets, a team that we have not beaten, a team that has beaten us 8 of the last 9 times in their home court, which is Ball Arena. So the Heat will take on Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, and the Denver Nuggets, of course, with Aaron Gordon. That's going to be a big test for the Heat this season. That's one of their many big tests right now. Game starts Wednesday at 9 o'clock on FanDuel Sports Network Sun. You can also catch that on NBA League Pass as well. So again, Heat, Nuggets, that one's going to be a marquee big test for them. Game starts Wednesday at 9 p.m. on FanDuel Sports Network Sun. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and some of you who commented on the YouTube side. Thank you. I appreciate your comments. And yes, we will get around to having people calling in and explaining, or rather expressing, how they feel about the NBA, the Miami Heat, and their favorite teams, their favorite players, and all that. So we will have that in the near future for you guys to come in, call, and chat with me or any basketball expert. I love to hear from you guys. I love debating with you guys and giving my hot takes and back and forth. Yep. Thank you for the comment, Hellbeast183. Yes, it was a great stream, and I will continue to do more as we continue on this journey with the Miami Heat this NBA season. I'm Deron Butler, reminding you to always run through the paint. Thank you, take care, God bless, and as always, go Heat. See you Wednesday.